Are Mormons becoming more liberal? A new survey was just released last week with fresh data on Mormons and how they voted in the 2024 U.S. presidential election. With this data, we can dive into the weeds of different Mormon demographics instead of just looking at how Utah moved. So, what does the data say? Overall, yes, Mormons are voting more liberal over time, looking at the last 5 elections. There's a 2016 Trump drop of 25 Republican points comparing to the McCain-Obama election. While Mormons have been warming up to Trump the last 2 elections, they have only warmed up 11 points since 2016, which is less than half of what was lost in 2016. So, where did the other voters go? After the Evan McMullen voters back in 2016, to me this chart is suggestive of an Evan McMullen voter to now Democrat voter pipeline among Mormons, with the Democrat vote also rising 11 points. So, which Mormon groups are warming and continuing to cool towards Trump? Let's first talk about the age gap. When you look at how age and voting changed with the U.S. population, not much has changed. Looking at Mormons, we see much more shifting. Older folks went down a bit, aren't too different in how they voted for Trump compared to how they voted with McCain and Romney. Mormons 45 and below have separated a lot from the older group through the Trump years. They are now equally likely to vote Democrat or Republican, which has not been the case before. The Mormon age gap is now even larger than the age gap in the U.S. population. You see a similar split with education. Among Mormons, there wasn't much difference in voting by education prior, but after 2016, graduate and bachelor's degrees continue to move away from Trump, while high school and some college have warmed up to in recent years. One last break I'll mention may be the most interesting. You may have heard in the news that some of the biggest movers toward the Republican Party are non-white voters. We see non-white Mormons typically being more Republican than non-whites in the U.S. population, but for the first time in 2024, according to our data, a non-white Mormon was more likely to vote for Trump than a white. We see a trend of white Mormons continuing to move away from Trump, while non-white Mormons are moving toward him. What do you think about this data? I have even more charts in my blog, specifically on gender differences in Trump voting. So check that out if you're interested. Let me know what you think in the comments, and see you next week.